Let's take a quick look at the Cisco Webex Meetings application. In this example on my screen here, you could see that I'm using this in a Mac OS operating system. It's going to look very similar for Windows and any other applications for Cisco Webex Meetings. And so after I've installed this application here, I could actually now start, what you do first is you put in your credentials, your username and password, and then you could start a meeting. That's the easiest way to get started. The other option, instead of clicking start a meeting, is to schedule it. Now, if you click on this button, it's going to open up your default email application, and you can then send an invite, which will include all the meeting details in which somebody should know to join your meeting. Another quick option here is to click on the copy button next to your meeting URL, your personal meeting room, and you could send that over to anyone that's in a text-based collaboration app or via email. So why don't we actually just get started in creating a meeting and sharing that with people? So if you want to start a meeting, just go ahead and click on Start a Meeting. And this is going to open up a whole new window for your personal room. And it's going to ask you how you want to get started. So you can see that it's giving me a preview as it shows here on the top. And so you can see me on my screen. The one thing that I want to have you guys understand is the microphone is at eye level. So that means I'm looking directly at the camera. And it gives this appearance that we are having a conversation together in the same room, right? So you want to have that same look and feel as if you're in in-person meeting. The other thing that you can see is I have my environment completely lighted. There's good lighting, so you can see me clearly. It's not very dark. It's not very grainy because I have a lot of light. And so if you're having your meeting at your home office and you're near a window and you have window light, that's actually going to be very good, and the camera will pick up that light pretty easily as it shines on your face. The one tip I want to give you is just make sure you don't have a bright light source behind you. What that'll do is if the light behind you is very strong, it'll cast a shadow. The webcam will not be able to expose the environment very well with its lens. And so what happens is you end up becoming dark, but everything around you is bright because it's being lit. You're being backlit. And so you want to avoid any backlight. You want the light to come from in front of you and onto your face, so you're clearly seen. And so here is the preview. I see that my microphone is not muted, and I am playing my video. If you don't want to include any of these, you just have to click on these buttons, and then it's all turned off. At a minimum, you want your audio so people can hear you. And so down here, you can see that I am using my computer audio. If you cannot use your computer audio for whatever reason, such as the USB microphone that we have spoken about in the equipment section, then you could call in via your cell phone or just not have any audio at all. The other thing is on the right side, bottom right side, is a settings app in which we could change the speaker, test it, and also the microphone, and have Webex automatically adjust your volume, and also make sure you have the right camera set up. In this example, I am not going to use my microphone because I don't want this to script the recording, but in your case, in your scenario, you want to select the correct microphone, and hopefully you've selected a really good quality microphone. Once you're ready, and I'll start my video just so you can see me, you could actually now click on Start Meeting. And then once that begins, it'll open up the Webex Meetings panel where there's different panels. Right now, I'm the only one joined in this meeting, so it'll say waiting for others to join. On the right side are some panels. Right now, it's just showing participants, but we could have a chat panel, for example. The participants panel is going to show everyone who's joined in your meeting. And so when somebody joins, you could mute them, you could see if they've got video enabled, or you could change their roles to have them become a presenter, a host, or assign privileges to them, mute them, unmute them, for example, or stop their video. Now, as a host, maybe there is one participant whose microphone is just picking up a lot of background noise and it's interfering with your meeting. You could just right click on their name and just click mute. Or one of the best practices is to just have everybody mute by default when they join the meeting and then unmute themselves when they need to speak. Down here on the bottom right, you'll have some controls for this meeting. And on the bottom left here, I have my microphone disabled because it's red. And when you want to speak, it'll unmute your microphone. And so you can hear that beeping sound to indicate that there was a change there. The same with the video. You could disable your video if you want to. This icon with the arrow pointing up, that's going to allow you to share some content with your participants. And so if you click on that, you could share your screen, application, for example, and that way people can see what you want to share. This middle icon with the red circle here is recording your meeting. So if you need this meeting recorded for people to watch in the future, you can do so. It'll record it to your computer, or some other options are recording it up to the cloud. This button here that's blue, that is an active panel. That's just showing the participants panel on the right. I can click on it to remove it so I can see more of the main panel. If you click on that, it'll show the panel again. The same goes for this panel button here, which is the chat. Now this is kind of important because a lot of people do not want to talk during any virtual meeting. And so what they'll do is they'll send a message. So in this chat panel, you could enter a chat message here and hit return. And I've just sent that message to everyone because I have the option to send it to everyone. If there are other participants, you can hit that drop down and select their name to send them a private message. One thing I want to point out is this icon here with the 3 dots. Now this will show a lot of other options available to you. So you could actually send an invite to people once you start the meeting. If you click on that, a new window pops up with an invitation. So you can just type in their email addresses and hit send. And that'll be an easy way to invite people. Some other options here are your audio connection. If you want to take a look at your audio, when people say they probably cannot hear you, this is where you want to check your audio to make sure you have the right source connected. Now, if your computer audio doesn't work, you can fall back to the call-in option, which you could use your telephone, your cell phone, or some landline phone. If you go back to the 3 dots icon there, click on speaker, microphone, and camera. That'll allow you to look at all your other settings. So if people say they cannot see you on your camera, you could ensure that the correct camera is actually shown here and selected. Now, if people are saying they have a hard time hearing you or they can't hear you, again, you can check your microphone, make sure you have the correct microphone selected. And so that is basically the overview of the Cisco Webex Meetings application. One thing I do want to show you, and what I'll do here is I'll end this meeting. Now, if you have Outlook installed on your computer, you can have, what you would need to do is download a plugin. And so when you go to webex.com, you could actually do everything through the web browser. And so you would just click sign in here and put in your credentials. And I already have myself signed in. I've created some meetings here. This is the window you first log in with. And so what I want to show you is this download section here on the left. If you click on that, you have the ability to, one, download the desktop app that I just showed you. And then there's also the Cisco Webex Productivity Tools, which is a plugin that ties into Outlook, which will help scheduling meetings a little bit easier for you if you actively use Outlook. With the web interface here, you could actually schedule meetings if you want to. So all you have to do is click on schedule, and then you could set a meeting topic and then have email addresses to your attendees and also some advanced options that we won't go into. But I do want to highlight the Outlook web app, where if I schedule this, hit schedule, I have the plugin already installed on my Outlook here, and you could see that it pre-populated the Webex information with the meeting number, access code, and a little button that says join meeting. So all you have to do then is add the attendees that you want to invite, hit the subject there of the meeting, the location, which you could say Webex, or for people who are going to be in the office, you put the meeting room, and then you could send that out. So that is a very simple way to get started with using Cisco Webex meetings.